The shooting at the Pittsburgh Synagogue that left 11 people dead has many people looking for answers. Carolee McGrath sat down with Rabbi Noach Kosofsky, the director of the Lubavitcher Yeshiva Academy in Longmeadow, to hear how people locally are reacting and responding to the devastation.
I heard about it on Saturday, so typically I live with my cell phone, my iPhone, except during our Sabbath, which begins at sundown Friday night till darkness Saturday night. So my phone was off, not getting any news or anything, but one of the congregants came in about 12 o'clock, and he had an opportunity to pull me aside. It was in the middle of our services. There was a little break. He pulled me aside, pulled me out of the sanctuary, and he told me about what happened, but some of the details were a little sketchy. One of the people that work in our school who was attending services on Saturday, his parents live in Squirrel Hill. They live right there. So I'm like, I wanted to tell other people, but I figured I better be quiet because he wouldn't be able to call his parents until the Sabbath ends Saturday night, which is about 6 o'clock this time of year, and I didn't want him to be worrying how his family is, even if it's even if it was a different synagogue. But who knows? Right. It's in the it's right in the neighborhood. So I had to keep it quiet. But at that point, I made sure that our doors were all locked, and typically we keep our school secure. So typically the doors are locked. There are some exceptions when they're not locked, but then I made sure everything was locked, and I made sure that we had an eye on everybody, that no one was just roaming around outside. And we continued with our services. It finished about 12:30, and then about 12:45, the Longmeadow Police Department, 2 policemen showed up, and they shared some information. They didn't say much, but they said, "We're keeping an eye on you. We're going to be around. We're keeping an eye. We'll be doing patrols right around here. Don't worry. You're safe. We're watching over you."
Here we are in 2018, though, and we still have this tragedy, and we're dealing with anti-Semitism. How do you help move us past this as a community, as a nation? What do you say to the children in this school on how to deal with this?
Well, whether we like it or not, anti-Semitism has been around forever. It's not likely that, unfortunately, it's not likely that in the near future we're going to end anti-Semitism. So it's a matter of being proud of who we are. How do we have pride in ourselves, as a Jew? I walk around, I'm very visibly Jewish. I don't hide it. And it's not about reacting to any time someone shouts an insult to a Jew. It's not about reacting and yelling back or fighting back necessarily. But it's about having pride. How do you have pride in being Jewish? So I think it's pretty obvious. The more engaged we are with our Judaism, the better, the deeper our Judaism is in our lives. And if I'm confident in who I am as a Jew, and knowing the special responsibility, the God-given responsibility to the Jewish people, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to react. I'm not going to be upset by someone making a comment, by someone saying something that's nasty. Of course, if they're violent, that's obviously a different story.
Let's talk a little bit about security. About a year ago, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Massachusetts held a forum on security for houses of worship. And this was after the shooting in Texas, the church shooting in Texas. Is this on the table now, that houses of worship, where most people feel safe to go in and pray, that now they have to be worrying about security?
Well, we have the benefit of being both a house of worship and a school. So the security is something that we take seriously, is something that we're constantly discussing and constantly working on to tighten, to strengthen security. We've always kept our doors locked ever since the Gulf War, but there's other measures that we've been taking. We've been very fortunate to work with the police department, the fire department in Longmeadow. We have a very, very good relationship, and they have been helping us with different measures to tighten security. And it's not happening all at once, but little by little, we are strengthening our security measures. We're constantly discussing what measures need to be put in place and to be drilled so that we are more prepared, God forbid, should something occur here.
A lot of times when people hear of these things, the immediate reaction is they're upset, they're angry, they're disgusted. Moving forward, what should our reaction be?
So we have to take the negative energy and we have to transform it into doing something positive. So what kind of positive things can we do? It's not lip service, not paying lip service. It's not doing something that we will not be able to continue, but it means doing something positive. The word mitzvah, we usually translate it as a commandment, a precept from God, God-given precepts, commandments that we could do which enhance our life, which make our life more meaningful. And some relate between man and his neighbor, and some relate between a person and God. So the word mitzvah literally comes from the word connection, bond. So when we do a mitzvah, so a Jew decides, because of this tragedy, I'm going to say one little prayer every morning or at night. And if they do it consistently, it's not only is it a good thing, but it creates a bond between us and God. So in Judaism, it's about, okay, someone did something bad to me, what am I going to do to them? To embrace them, to influence them. And it's not something that happens in a second, in 5 minutes, a 5-minute conversation. It's taking the time, taking the interest to develop a relationship. It could take years. So if someone's not nice to me, I'm working on this. It's not easy for anyone to do this, but what we want to do is we want to think how we could bring out the good in them, to change them, to influence them.
And to change hearts, right? And to help people.
It changes us and it changes them.
Reporters Fred